Hey everyone, welcome back to NBA Pickup, and before I get started with the video, I wanted to first say thank you for the support on the first video. I'm still trying to get more comfortable talking to the mic and being more fluent with good pronunciation. If you have anything to say that I can improve upon on my next video, use the comments below to let me know. Also, please leave a like, it helps the channel out a lot and it takes 2 seconds. Subscribing is also cool, so go do that so I know you want more consistent NBA content like this in the future. Now, onto the video. As the title suggests, the Warriors are the most confusing team in the league this season. At the time I'm writing the script for this video, the Warriors are 15-13, ranking them the 8th seed in the West. This team, led by Steph Curry, has had their fair share of ups and downs this season. As a Warriors fan, I've watched all but 3 games this year: the Christmas Day game against the Bucks, the loss to Indiana in January, and the most recent loss to the Nets in February. Watching the team can be very fun to watch and reminds me of the 2015 or 2016 seasons, but it can also be very difficult to watch to the point where I want to punch the TV screen and scream. The Warriors have been hovering around 500 the entire season, always within 1 or 2 games of the 500 mark. They have never lost 3 times in a row or won 3 times in a row this season. Here's a graph I found on Basketball Reference with a margin of victory of individual games so far this season. The higher the green bar is, the more the Warriors won by. The lower the red bar is, the more the Warriors lost by. You can see there are a lot of long green bars and a lot of long red bars. They have won 7 games by at least 20 points and lost 4 games by at least 20 points. Those are some of the interesting stats the Warriors had so far this season. If you're a Warriors fan like I am, or you just happen to watch a lot of Warrior games this season, you know the individual players on the team are just as inconsistent as the team. A prime example of this is Kelly Oubre Jr. We all remember at the beginning of the year, everyone was making fun of him for having some of the worst, if not the worst, shooting splits for his volume. In the first 10 games of the season, Oubre's field goal percentage was 34% on 41 for 122 shooting, and 7 for 55 from 3, an abysmal 14%. Ever since that horrific start to the season, his overall field goal percentage is 44% on 101 for 231 shooting and 40 for 97 from 3, a solid 41%. However, in those 18 games, he has had a career-high 40 points and 8 rebounds against the Mavericks, shooting 14 for 21 and 7 from 10 for 3, a 20-point game on an efficient 7 for 9 shooting against the Timberwolves, and a 23-point night against the defending champion Lakers on 50% shooting. These are all great games for Oubre, but there have been some bad ones in the same stretch of games. 2 days after dropping a career-high 40 points on the Mavericks, he would play the same exact Mavericks team, but only have 14 points on 5 for 16 shooting. Maybe some of it had to do with Curry's 57 points, or the Mavericks making adjustments defensively on Oubre, but it still has me wondering how he went from the best game in his career to a poor performance against the same team. A day after his 20-point performance against the Timberwolves, he would have one of the worst games of the season: 4 points on 1 for 11 shooting, 0 for 5 from 3, and a box score plus-minus of -17. He also had a 5-point game in a loss to the Utah Jazz, a 7-point game on 2 for 11 shooting in a loss to the Knicks, and 2 bad games against the Clippers where he shot 2 for 7 for 6 points and 4 for 13 for 8 points. He will also have some overall solid games where he'll shoot around 43 to 55% and have 16 or 17 points with 5 rebounds and a steal. Oubre's inconsistency is a good representation of how the Warriors are this season, just as a player. Since I am comparing Oubre's erratic shooting to the Warriors' performances, it's only right to show the Warriors' stats in their games this season. The stats I'm about to read may not sound anything out of the ordinary to a casual fan, but as someone who watches almost all the games for this team, the difference between a win and a loss is substantial. In their 15 wins, the Warriors score 123.2 points while shooting 42.4% from 3, which would put them first in points per game and tied for first in 3-point field goal percentage with the Clippers this season. In their 13 losses, they score 104.4 points per game and shoot 31.4% from 3, which would be 28th in points per game, only ahead of the Knicks and the Cavaliers, and dead last in 3-point percentage. That is a 19-point per game difference between their wins and losses, which shows how sporadic the team's scoring is. Also, that 11% difference from 3 is huge. Considering they shoot about 38 threes a game, which puts them 6th for the most attempts in the league, the high volume of shots can either help a team drastically or hurt a team drastically. As every NBA old head says, live by the 3, die by the 3. The hardest part about watching the Warriors lose is when they keep trying to shoot their way out of a slump. They don't make the needed adjustments to get to the rim or free throw line to get easier points. Instead, they would rather just die by the 3. We can look at other teams' scoring in their wins and losses to show how significantly different the Warriors play in their wins and losses. The Lakers score about 115 points per game in their wins and 106 points in their losses. Their three-point percentage is about 37% in wins and 33% in their losses. The team with the best record in the league, the Utah Jazz, score 118 points in their wins and 104 in their losses. They shoot 40.4% from 3 in their wins and 34.7% in their losses. The number 1 seed in the East, the Sixers, score about 119 points in their wins and 103 in their losses. They also have a big drop-off in their three-point percentage, shooting 39% in their wins and 30% in their losses. Seeing how the Warriors rank with some of the top teams in the league shows how bad a loss is and how good a win is. They are the best offensive team in the league when they win, and the worst offensive team when they lose. While this team's success is heavily weighted on their offensive game, how does their defense rank amongst the rest of the league? Let's start off with their defensive rating, which tells how many points they allow per 100 possessions. The Warriors are 6th in the league with a rating of 109.4. They also rank 2nd in opponent field goal percentage at 43.8, just behind the team with the great defensive coach Tom Thibodeau and his New York Knicks. Another interesting stat is the Warriors are 12-3 when holding teams under league average points per game, 112.1. They are winning a majority of their games when they are playing well defensively. They are 4-9 when teams score more than 112 points on them, showing the Warriors don't win through offense, especially when other teams are hitting their shots. To summarize all the stats and numbers I just said, the Warriors are either a very good or a very bad offensive team and a pretty good defensive team. Because I've shown the team's inconsistencies and streaky shooting, I think we can talk about some of the surprising things about the Warriors this season that make them confusing. First, we can start with Andrew Wiggins. This is year number 6 in the league, and many fans have started to put a label on Wiggins as a bust. The former number 1 pick of the 2014 draft never lived up to that high ceiling and potential people thought he had. His body and frame was NBA ready, so all he needed to do was get better at his skills such as shot, IQ, finishing ability, and defense, but he never seemed to improve since his rookie season. A lot of people were excited to see Wiggins' defense because he has long arms and is quick on his feet. Many expected Wiggins to quickly develop into a solid perimeter defender, but were disappointed after the first couple of years in his career. This year, Wiggins has proven to be a good defender, especially in one-on-one situations. As of February 13th, Wiggins leads the league in opponent field goal percentage when defending in isolation, shooting 15%. His opponents also shoot 48.5% within 10 feet of the rim, ranking him 10th overall and first among wings. He also has 35 block shots, ranking him 11th in the league and again first among wings. A stat I saw on the Warriors Reddit account on Twitter, which I don't really understand why there's a Twitter account for a subreddit, but that's a totally different discussion, says Wiggins is second when it comes to defended field goal percentage with a minimum of 200 attempts. Wiggins has impressed me as a defender this season, even holding NBA stars such as DeMar DeRozan to 7 points, 2 turnovers, and 3 of 12 shooting in back-to-back games against the Spurs, and Kawhi Leonard to 2 for 12 shooting and 5 turnovers in the 2-game stint against the Clippers. There is some NBA analysis that will say that these stats don't tell the full story of a player's defense, but if you actually watch Wiggins play, he does make an impact and make it tougher for the opponent to score. Not only has Wiggins been a great defender so far this year, he has also improved his efficiency. His field goal, 3-point, and true shooting percentages are at a career high, and even shot 40.6% from 3 in the first 20 games. It has gone down to around 36% after a couple of bad shooting nights recently. Andrew Wiggins' mini breakout season is definitely surprising to all NBA fans, which feeds into the Warriors' confusing season. For the past 2 weeks, about 8 games, the Warriors have been playing without a center, with Marquise Chris breaking his leg in practice at the beginning of the year, Wiseman with a wrist injury that has him sidelined for at least 2 weeks, and Looney seems to be hurt every 5 seconds. Draymond has taken the role as center, defending talented big men like Nikola Vucevic and Kristaps Porzingis, and holding his own. Vucevic shot 3 for 10, 2 for 8 from 2, and had 2 turnovers when guarded by Draymond. Porzingis had 2 points on 1 for 7 shooting when guarded by Draymond in the second game against the Mavericks. Not only has Draymond been fantastic defensively against bigger players, he has been a great facilitator as well. In the past 7 games, Draymond's assist totals were 15, 15, 10, 11, 11, 8, and 16. He's shown that he's a primary playmaker on the Warriors at the center position, being able to facilitate better when guys like Wiseman or Looney aren't clogging the paint. Another player that has been surprising during the super small ball stint is Juan Toscano Anderson. Go check out his journey in the NBA, it's quite inspiring. But the Oakland native has been impressive with his upgraded role at the starting power forward position. He is averaging about 10 points and 6 rebounds on 54% shooting and 50% from 3. He is full of energy on defense, hustling on every play to really prove that he is a legit NBA player. Just looking at the stats and the individual players on the team, the Warriors are just a confusing team that are inconsistent throughout the year. They get the extremes of both the wins and losses, don't have slumps or streaks, and just a streaky team in general. What do you guys think about the Warriors this season? Do you think they can find a rhythm and go on a winning streak, or find themselves in a slump and fall behind in the playoff race? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Again, this is my second video I'm uploading on YouTube, so please use the comments to tell me something you like and other things I can improve on. Also, don't forget to leave a like. I spent longer than I really should have looking up and researching stats for this. It also lets me know you guys want more NBA content like this, and it makes a big difference for the channel. Thank you all for your time, and have a great day.